Okay, I'm live again. Gnudi, I did something wrong there. Oi, Chia. Oi, Anna. Hello, Jenny. How are you? I had to start again because I made something wrong. I showed my mess. How are you, Anna? How is Toronto? Hello, Nachi. Hello, Gabi. And Leon. How are you all doing? Beautiful weather. Oh, I'm envying you now. Here it's horrible. It's raining the whole day. It's so horrible. I'm the kind of person that complains about the weather now. Are you? Do you like Gnudis? I think my whole life I ate it at my mom's house, but like it would be a gnocchi. We always call it, hello, Claudia Rafaela. How are you? Hello, Diego. Ah, you had to Google it. Yes, I think, in Brazil we have that a lot from our Italian descendants, yes. Hello, Scott Wilson, how are you? But we always call it gnocchi, spinach and ricotta gnocchi. We never call it gnudi. And then I found out after that there is actually a proper name for it. Hello, inside or outside? It's actually a sort of a gnocchi. Well, gnudi in Italian means nude, so naked. That means that is basically a naked ravioli. That's how they say it. I'm good. That's how they explain it. It's actually a naked ravioli made out of spinach and ricotta. But I think it's more for gnocchi than a naked ravioli. Yes, it's naked. Should I call it the naked recipe? And then it will get a lot of views or not. So we wait a little bit more and then we start with it. I think you can already imagine what I will use for ricotta, right? And you probably already noticed that I like a lot recipes that take spinach. Yes, I know, there's a pattern here. But it's so good. Yes. Matt is good. He's at Kopchen right now. I think so. We never know. He tells me he's at Kopchen at least. That's what I'm supposed to think. I love spinach also. And I even think that spinach here is better than Brazil. You probably have also an opinion about that. What did you have for lunch? I was not going to make this question today, but now you provoked me, so I have to ask, what did you have for lunch? I had actually leftovers, so it was korma curry leftovers with basmati rice, and what else there was there? I think a salad. Yeah, a small salad. It was quite yummy. The korma was quite good. Olá, Maria Codas. So 1 more minute and then we start with our recipe. And you, what did you have for lunch? Hello, Bex. How are you? Hola. Hello, Fabs. How are you? Did you get your Vitamix yet? I always think about it, but I forgot to ask. So, 5 minutes, we can start. We should start. We will start basically by the sauce. Typical food. What kind of typical food? Hello, Alessandra Sofia. Smoothie as usual. Smoothie for breakfast, right? You didn't have lunch yet. But Rafa decided to add salt and it was not a good idea. I always add salt to my smoothie. Always, but I add salt to my everything. I'm a savory person. So we will start by the sauce. I tell you, so you're happy with it or not? So this is basically then, as I was explaining, it's a naked ravioli, they prefer to call it. I think it's more related to a gnocchi than to a naked ravioli, but it's your choice. And it's made out of ricotta and spinach traditionally. So as you can imagine, sopa paraguaya, I love it. I love it. I even talked about it. Last week I talked about it. Hello, Natalie. We go large scale Corona testing now. Have fun, guys. Okay, then go for it. I hope you don't have it. So as I was explaining, some people relate it to a naked ravioli, some people to a kind of gnocchi. I prefer to relate it for gnocchi, although there's no potatoes on this. It's just ricotta, spinach, and a bit of flour. But for me, the texture is more for a gnocchi than for a ravioli, because you would not add flour in the filling of a ravioli, no? So it's a bit, but it's okay. You can call it naked ravioli also if you want. So I will start with the sauce. You can serve this with tomato sauce or with butter and sauge kind of sauce. It's true that today with this autumn day, butter and sauge could work, but I will go for the tomato one because I am still in my summer vibes, even if it's the weather is not. So olive oil in my pan, you know me already, and onions. Let's see if it's warm enough. Let me check my salt also. When did I put my salt? In my smoothies, true, but then after? Okay. I'll take just a bag here. Gostei dessa blusa, thank you. It's from it's from last year, yeah. So, the onions here, chopped onions, with a pinch of salt. And now, as you probably know it, I cover it. And then meanwhile, I will transfer you here. If you add salt to your smoothies, you will probably like lassi. Yes, I like lassi a lot. Yeah, I make it quite often, but I can do it. I will do it once here. I like lassi a lot. I just don't understand why how people can have that with the meal. Can you have it with a meal? For me, it's a meal by itself. It's not something to drink with my mains. What do you think about it? So I'm chopping here, just slicing some garlic, because I want a garlic tomato sauce. Because it's a spinach, and I think spinach and garlic go amazing together. Why not? I don't know. I cannot have it. I think it's too consistent to have it with my meal. For me, it's like I don't know. I can have it for breakfast or for a snack, but not with my meal. But I know Indians have it as a start. I know they start drinking the lassi and then after they have their main meal. But I cannot. I lose completely my appetite. It's really filling. So let's check here how my onions are. Good. I'll add my garlic here. And another pinch of salt. A good stir. Simple tomato sauce. And then I will use here, I will use canned tomatoes, but I'll add also one chopped tomato. It's just to add a bit of more freshness, and the canned ones is because it's faster to make tomato sauce with the canned ones, and we have a short time, right? And people normally, they are in a rush, so let's make things more convenient. So people, I didn't hear, what did you have for lunch there? People have pizza and milk during breakfast. What's the problem with having a meal with a glass of lassi? What? People have pizza and milk? Who has that, Diego? Please don't tell me that you have that. Really? No, I don't judge. I made a bad face, but I don't judge because everyone has weird food habits. By the way, tell me what's your weird food habits. I would love to hear. I think mine is, I'm thinking here, I can add black sesame paste to everything, but that's a recent thing. Besides that, what's my weird food habit? I'm trying to think. Hello, Paloma. Dumplings. What is dumplings? I don't put, yeah, I put pineapple in my in a curry, but in a curry it fits, no? Bahahaha. Okay, it was a laugh. Okay, sorry. The lunch. Great lunch. So people, tell me, what is my weird food habit is I add pomegranate to everything. See? We always have some kind of food obsession for periods of time. Is it something that happens to you now, Anna, or you always were in love with pomegranates over everything? Because I have phases. I go for crazy things. I have one friend of my dad that adds ambrosia, that is a kind of an egg sweet custard, to his black beans. I'm thinking here, what other weird stuff. If Matthew would be here, he would probably know what is my weird food habit, but I don't know. So, adding here my canned tomatoes. Then I smash it with my spatula. For the last weeks, yes, I have the same. I always create some food obsessions, and then after I get tired, then I create a new one. For the moment, mine is black sesame paste. I just added, I think, in my every meal. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I just add a bit on something. And the best is rice crackers with black sesame paste. Just love it. But so far, I didn't hear many. I like your lunch, Claudia Fella, the dumplings. But so far, I didn't hear other weird food habits, because I know everyone has one. So now this is just a tomato sauce. It just needs to finish cooking. I will put it behind with a cover, and we will do the rest of our recipe here. Unplug here. And then we will start with the gnudi. So, I think you already can guess what will be my ricotta. Can you guess? I think you can. I think I will not even make a mystery anymore, because by now, you are like my family. You know me really, really well. Probably you know me even better than my family. This is tofu. It's our ricotta. You can also use some almond ricotta also works. Cashew. Yeah, it could be. Cashews is actually not a great option for ricotta because it's too creamy. It's great for creams, for yogurts, for everything that you need more creamy consistency, but not so great when you need a crumbly, more texture inside, you know? Then the good is tofu, almonds if you want a nut. What else for ricotta? I think that those are the best options. You can use other nuts, but they leave more taste. So here, just. Then, normally also in this gnocchi, there is an egg. We are not using an egg, so what are we using instead? We are using a little bit of white beans. Why white beans? You can use chickpeas, because I know some people find it easier to use chickpeas. You can. Just be aware that if you use chickpeas, you will have more of a chickpea taste to the gnocchi, gnudi. I think the white beans, they are more neutral. So I use that, but it's your choice. What else are we adding here? Some flax seeds. And this is just to bind everything together. Is also a kind of replacement for egg. I don't like really to use the word replacement because it's not a perfect replacement. I need different elements, but it works also. Then I add here some nutritional yeast. And then, what is missing here for my ricotta? It would not be a marinola recipe without a lemon, right? So, a lemon juice. I was waiting for people to tell me really crazy food habits, but now I'm questioning myself if I'm the only one having a crazy food habit, or if you're just shy to share a crazy one that you have. Because I know if it's too crazy, we might feel that this is people will judge, but there's no judgment. I make weird faces, but I don't judge. So now just blender time or food processor time. Feijão com banana and black beans. It is I think it's a really weird food habit for some countries, but I have to say that in this one, I absolutely agree with you. A fried banana and black beans, it's one of the best combinations in the world. So good. So now here, as you see, I have really something texture of ricotta. Can you see? Yes, really ricotta feeling. I just transfer here. And Gabby, does she has a pregnant cravings or not? Pregnant cravings sometimes are crazy, so it's fun to know. Here I have my ricotta, and now it's time to add my spinach. Right now I'm obsessed with speculoos. I mix it in plain yogurt or mashed banana and eat it with frozen raspberries and homemade granola, and not just for breakfast. Okay, so speculoos. I had a phase already of speculoos. I was adding speculoos to everything. I had this phase already, and speculoos has a really special place in my heart. I love everything with cinnamon also, and raw broccoli. Yes, I like that also. And I like raw broccoli quinoa salad. It's amazing, it's so good, but I never posted because I think people would be too resistant to it. But now you kind of encourage me to do it. So now it's spinach here. And here I'm using frozen spinach, so I just defrost it, and I will chop it even if it's frozen. I prefer to chop it thinly, but that is optional, because if you like to have the long leaves inside, it's not a problem, but they will look less pretty, let's say like this, because it will be hard to make balls. Peanut butter with Vegemite sandwich. Okay, you know, Vegemite for me is something complicated. But I respect. Oh, there is more than one person liking. Paloma also likes the Vegemite with Vegemite with peanut butter. So I probably should try. Don't know. I stopped with sugar and white flour this week. It is being a challenge, especially because of the sugar. Yes, I can imagine, especially pregnant. Sometimes you have this low energy probably, you know, and sugar helps a little bit. But in the end, it will make you feel better, I think. So now my chopped spinach here, I transfer you back here. Let me put better view here. Yes. Then chopped spinach to my mix. Okay, yes. Then I mix it well here. I didn't add salt at this point, I forgot. Then good that I remember now. So this is far too much. I enjoy peanut butter with cucumber sandwiches. I like that also, Paloma. I love it. I love the fatty of the peanut butter with the watery, crunchy texture of the cucumber. Wouldn't mind so vegemite though. And I had chili on it. Chili on everything. I'm with you. So, now I have my mix here. My ricotta with spinach, and then it's time to add the flour, or better, it's time to taste and see if this is already good. Paloma knows everything food. Let me check here. Had to Google this Vegemite thing. So now it's time that I will add my flour to it, and I'm using normal flour. You know how I relate to gluten. I have no problem with it, but you can use gluten-free option. One of the best flour options here, it's a mix between rice and chickpea flour. Although I would not add too much of chickpea flour because it adds a chickpea taste, which is not bad, but it's not exactly mimicking the taste of a real gnudi. And then again, what I always say, even though you have an amount of flour, go slow on it, because it depends a lot on your spinach, on your tofu, the amount that you will need in the end. So if you have a watery spinach, you'll probably need it all, but if you have a dry spinach, you'll probably not. By the way, if you use fresh spinach, cook it before, because you don't want that it leaves the water inside your gnocchi. You want that the water is already out. I'll add a tiny bit more, but not too much. And I think we have it already, but always good to test it. So my test is, you need to be able to make balls with it. You basically can. It's still a bit thicky, it's not a problem, but I'll add just for safetyness. Oh, okay, you understand. I'll add a bit more flour here. Okay. Now I have it done, set aside. The version I know don't use flour or semolina in the mixture, but you make the balls with the mixture and only coats the balls with the semolina. Yeah, I don't know, I always had the versions that use flour. A little bit less flour than in the vegan version, but because the egg works as a better binder than what I'm actually using. But the recipes that I know use a bit of flour. And they add normally Parmesan cheese also, that works as a great binder. So you normally need less flour to it. So now water to boil, and then we will make our gnudis here. And then you have two options. You can roll them with your hands, or every ball with your hands, place it in a tray, freeze it, and then cook it after. Or you can roll it and make it in a minute and freeze it after if you want, because it is a great recipe for meal prep. But I will just do it here at the moment, because, you know, today there is no need for magic. I don't have some frozen balls in the freezer. But just saying, because it can be a good option for meal prep. So just waiting here, the water to boil. It will not take that long. But meanwhile, I'll check my tomato sauce here. And I have a question also. I always have questions, right? What is the dish that you cook the most at home? I think we always have one go-to. I knew this one as malfatti. Oh, really? I will Google after if there is any difference between malfatti and gnudis. I don't know. I never heard with this name, but I think it has different names. I think it's one of these specialties that have different names according to the region or something. Because I even think that they call it, some place they call it Gnudi Toscano, something like that. Because I think a Gnudi can be only with ricotta also. I'm not sure, I have to double check, but I think so. Would you be interested in having more history of the foods that we cook here, more information, like history information? Would be something interesting for you? Because I always read about it. Pasta with tomato sauce for lazy days, so quite often. But it's a great option. Pasta with tomato sauce, it's always delicious. I always associate, I'm not a person that has one recipe that I cook the most, but I'm thinking lately that I should have always. But I think it's something that I should have. Ah, yes, okay, that's good. I would like to do that. It needs to be fast rice pan with vegetables and of course pasta. Yes, pasta I think is the best lazy meal. It's so delicious and it's quick to make. Yeah, after I understood, I took a little bit, as I said, I'm a bit sleepy and a bit lazy. I don't know if everyone has that, but when it rains, I get really lightheaded. Every week I have lentils, ramen and burger. Okay, you have a tradition, there is one day of the week that you have each of those? Or it's just randomly you always have the same? You end up having the same, or it's something that you plan? Ah, yeah, I know Harira, it's nice. Okay, how to try to mix up so it doesn't get boring, but favorite is curries, all type plant-based. Yeah, I think I do mostly curries also at home. It's also a fast, lazy meal for me. I know that not for everyone, because I think you need to get into the mindset and then it gets fast. But it's one of my also lazy meals, but I always change it also. I wouldn't want to have the same, and I want to test different recipes. But I've been thinking lately that I have to have one recipe that people think of me when they think about that. Because I always, when I think about people, I always relate them to one food. Do you have that, or am I crazy? Do you relate people to food? Hello, Julia Petty, how are you? How is Madrid? Sunny weather? So let us know what you had for lunch. I know what you had for lunch. I see your posts. So almost boiling, almost boiling. Just a bit more patience. Let me check here my tomato sauce again. In a bar having a beer. Okay, that's a good life. That is a hard life. I had tuna tataki and grilled avocado. I know, I saw your stories. In one of my favorite places in Madrid. My lazy meal is butter chicken, but the most common cacio e pepe. Butter chicken, really good. I like that. Cacio e pepe, I confess, that is something that it makes me think about São Paulo immediately. Hello, Chifo. Hello, Aisa. Hello, Nadia. How are you? So, Aisa, since you are a chef, also, I know that, tell us what is the recipe that you cook the most at home. What is cacio e pepe? It's pasta, but it's so São Paulo. I don't know if it's a trend in São Paulo, but every person that I know from São Paulo is having a cacio e pepe sometime. And every restaurant, I think every Italian restaurant has cacio e pepe in their menu in São Paulo, right? Here, I think, what is the most common pasta in Italian restaurants? I think it's arrabbiata. It's one of classical in Luxembourg. Because you are a Carioca girl, you are from Rio. Hello, cuckoo. I forgot your name, Tifo, sorry. I asked 3 times and then I learned the names of people. It takes me time. And then when I meet people in person, it also takes 3 times until I memorize the face. It's not personal, it's a problem on my life. So almost boiling here, almost boiling. Shrimp risotto with asparagus. Always cook that at home. Oh, really? My mom always makes shrimp penne with asparagus. Usually they have pasta inside the Parmesan cheese, but cacio e pepe is more difficult to find. Really? I don't know, every place that I went so far had a cacio e pepe, so I probably was in the places where people that like cacio e pepe go. The pasta in the Parmesan is also a trend in São Paulo. That's a big trend, I think, right? Or it was a trend, because I had not been in São Paulo a long time ago. So it's starting to boil here. I am Julia. Yes, I know you are Julia. You are a fancy woman, that's why. No, I'm not. Well, if I am, it's because your family takes, your borrowed family, because it is a borrowed, no, I'm joking, takes me to these places, because it's always my uncle, your father-in-law, that gives us restaurant recommendations. So it's starting to boil here, but it's taking time, so I will close it again. There is an Italian restaurant that has cacio e pepe. Really? In Luxembourg, I find that the Italian restaurants always have exactly this, not exactly, but really similar menus. And it's funny that in Luxembourg, if you say you go to an Italian restaurant, people automatically think that you are going to a pizzeria. And for us, in Brazil, I think we separate the things, no? It's a pizzeria or it's an Italian restaurant. It can be together, but you don't call it the same. I said 3 times so you would remember. Really hard when I have to explain the jokes. Okay. I didn't understand until now, so I will be... So now, okay, water boiling. I start to add my Gnudis to my water. Did I add the salt? Yeah, I added the salt, right? Please tell me I added salt. I'm so distracted. have a lot of time to explain me your jokes, Julian. A lot of time. But online is really hard to understand some jokes, I have to confess. It's really hard, especially with the steam here. Can you see all the steam on my face? I always forget about the salt. I know that because I'm talking to you, so I get distracted. Mafia, so many Italian in Lux is owned by the same person. In Kirchberg there is like 4 owned by the same guy. Yes, but there is no mafia in Luxembourg. There is no Italian mafia, what is that? But probably the same we have here in Japanese restaurants, always limited to sushi. Yes, exactly, it's the same concept. If you say Japanese, you go for sushi. That's what people assume. But I think also in Luxembourg, people assume that you are going for sushi when you go for a Japanese restaurant. And there's not many Japanese restaurants here, are they? Real restaurants? I don't think so. There's a lot of sushi places. And there's something also really Luxembourgish in my opinion, that is the mix of everything when it's called Japanese restaurant. Sometimes it's Japanese restaurant, but it's basically Chinese, Korean, Thai, and everything together. Not that it's bad, but it's just a funny thing for me. So I added a few of my Gnudis here. I will not add a lot because we don't want a lot in the same pan. They are quite sensitive. Yes, they get hurt. They get hurt feelings. Hello, Isadora. Then I will use here my fork to just make sure that they don't stick together. I will show you here the pan if you can see. Can you see how many we have there? Not many. I don't want to overload my pan. It's the same when you're doing gnocchi. I know that a lot of people, they put all the gnocchis together, but that normally makes them overcook and glue together. So I prefer to be careful. Asian, yes. Oh, I missed the kilos in Brazil. Where can you have barbecue, Japanese, Italian on your plate at the same time? Isn't it that great? Wow, Julia, you asked the wrong person, I think. If you're asking me, you asked the wrong person. But now I think kilos don't exist anymore in Brazil because of Corona. Isn't it? I think they closed the kilos. So now they start to come to the yes, they start to float, and then I rescue them here, my little balls. And you can make it as a gnocchi, you know, to make really small things, but traditionally they are round. Yes, good. And another good trick to see if they are good is to press the sides and see if it's firm already. Now, okay, there is one here coming up. Then you do like this and you see if it's firm. If it's too sensitive, probably needs to cook a little bit longer. But normally as soon as they start to float, they are ready. Here, more, there you go. And then now, let me just take care here. Then now I add a little bit more. It's a really weird blend, yes. I don't know if everyone knows here because it's some people I know that went already to, I heard already from a lot of clients, so I guess some of you here, that went already to Brazilian churrascarias. That normally it's called churrasqueiras here, but it's churrascarias, where you have the barbecue going all around and people can have as much as they want. And normally in this kind of restaurants, there is also a buffet. And the weird thing is that one of the most eaten in these buffets is the sushi. But it's a barbecue place. It's a bit weird to mix like a piece of picanha and a piece of sushi on your plate. But no judgment. You forgot the nutmeg. It binds perfectly with this dish. Yes, it's true. I don't forget the nutmeg. I just don't have it anymore at home. But it's really good to add, that's true. Good that you mentioned that, Diego. So Otherwise I would forget to mention, but it's really good. It's true. I had a grinder for nutmeg that it broke. And I also don't have nutmeg anymore. Hello, Hemus25. Yes, I forgot to buy nutmeg. Yes, that's true. I don't use it that often, but when I do pancakes, I know pancakes, I always like to add a bit of nutmeg and a lot of doughs and bechamel also. So I should not forget. While my noodles are cooking here, I'll just take my fresh tomatoes here and I will add to my pan with my tomato sauce. And while I'm adding in the end, let me just add here. And cover my pan. And the reason why I'm adding in the end is because I want this different taste of tomato inside my sauce. I love that. I like to have a little bit of freshness and a bit of really long cooked tomato sauce. The Choscaliers are visionaries, serving surf and turf before it came a trend. Yes, yes, that's true. And it's the only place that Brazilians accept surf and turf, right? Because at least in Rio, people don't accept so well surf and turf. Not that I'm in favor of it, right? Because there's meat and fish on it, but it's interesting. Asians love surf and turf, by the way. Do you see all the steam here? I see you with a steam thing here. I see always steamy. Okay, they start to come up. So again, one came up. Another tip is that you don't want that it overboils and then they are dancing everywhere, because that will make them lose flour. You know, the flour will go away. They will be too sensitive. And you will have the feeling that you needed actually to add more flour. So next time you will add more flour, and it's actually not necessary. It's just the way you cook it that it needs to be more sensitive, more delicate. Even the words are missing to me today. It's the rainy weather, people. I always have to blame something. If Matty is not here, I will blame the weather. And finally here. Oops. Okay, so now I have enough. I'll transfer this here. You see my tomato sauce really reduced, and I added the fresh tomato that I will add cook a little bit longer. This I'll set aside because I don't need it now. To my noodles, I'll add just a drizzle of olive oil. Look how they look. Look how they look. And what else? Okay, I'll just start preparing here for plating. Then, as I said, you can make this also with butter and sauce. It fits really well together. But I decided to go only for tomato sauce, simplicity for my summer days. And I think it's really, tomato is probably overeat when it's the season. I can turn off my sauce here. It's already good. I have here, yes, I want to show you. I have here some Parmesan cheese. That is not Parmesan. And I left already in one recipe a few months behind. When I post the recipe, I will post in the comments the recipe for that. But it's basically just Brazil nuts mixed with a little bit of miso, nutritional yeast, and salt. That's all. So now we start plating. My neighbor is doing, I think, a construction. I don't know. So people, hello Rafa, I was missing you. I will add here my tomatoes. I think it's my main happiness is and I had a bit too much tomatoes, I have to say, even though there is not such a thing as too much tomato sauce, but In this case, I think I really exaggerate. I like to spread a little bit. Oh. And then I'll start, okay, then I'll start to add my Gnudis all around. Of course, you can mix it also in the tomato sauce, but I'm preparing here for a picture, right? This is behind the scenes. And after, no, not actually behind, no, in front of the scenes, but actually that is how you see, oh, this one was too big, so I will not use you. How you see, right? And this is how I take the picture, and after I mixed it everything, and I eat the ugly one. And reheat it, because most of times get cold before I can eat it. Okay, one more probably. One more. I think you can fit one more here. Yes. Yes. So people, suggestions for Sunday? I will not cancel this time because I don't know, unless you tell me that there is another holiday this Sunday and I forgot about it. At least I don't have any, I don't think I need to be anywhere this Sunday. By the way, how did you celebrate Mother's Day in Luxembourg? I know that the Brazilian ones here didn't celebrate probably Mother's Day this Sunday, but well, for the ones in Luxembourg, how did you celebrate? With food, I hope. So now Parmesan cheese all around. My Parmesan. And you don't need to add Parmesan cheese, but if you don't add, then I really recommend that you add extra salt on top, because the Parmesan, what it does to the pasta, it actually adds a punch of saltiness. And then if you add the salt, you will have the same feeling. That is so good. Well, I'm a bit crazy about salt. I like it a lot. Okay, to drizzle here, I will drizzle with a little bit. Hello, Hallie. I will drizzle with a little bit of this olive oil here that Matty bought this week. It's quite good. Quite good. Okay, you cannot see because I have my fake sun turned on. I had to turn on my 2 fake suns, otherwise you will probably not see me. And it's ready. Then I will eat it with you. I will taste it. Long time that I don't taste the food with you, right? So, time to taste it. This Kuka rice pudding. So funny. Rice pudding is one of my favorite desserts. Kuka is also one of my favorite things in the world. And rice pudding is even noted on my list of recipes to suggest. Kuka is also a good one. I like the Kuka option. Hello, Jamili. People, this is really good. I'm sorry to tell you that, but this is really good. I'll have to fix it now for the pictures. This makes me think so much about home, because my mom always makes that. As I told you, I always associate people to food. So every person in my life has a food associated to it. That's how I see them. And I can tell their personalities by their favorite foods. That's probably why I ask so much about what you had for lunch and what is your favorite food. I'm really scared that you did, Diego. I'm really scared that you did, because you know a lot more than you probably know, should know. Oi, Julia. So, people, it's time to go now. I hate when it comes this moment, but it's coming to an end. Thank you for joining. You are really my company on this rainy, weird summer day. And I'm glad that I had to make this live. Otherwise, I would be probably in the couch sleeping with my dogs, because it's really weird, this weather, and I lose my energy. I don't know, I get so weird with rain. So thank you a lot. Have a nice dinner for the ones that didn't have dinner yet in Luxembourg. Have a nice lunch for the Canadian ones. And I don't know, Brazilian ones, you still have some hours to have dinner, so wait for it. Bolinho de chuva, yes, that's true. Rainy cakes. So people, thank you and enjoy your week, and I see you on Sunday if there's no holidays. No, but I will see you on Sunday. Okay, bye bye.